Alright, so here's one of those horrible tier lists that you have all been probably seeing around the internet. But nobody's made the worst tier list yet for all anime. And that's what I seek to do here today, is show you the worst shows that I've ever watched and rank them. And odds are you've probably heard of some of these shows. Some of these shows you may have even watched. And I'm sorry if you have, because whew, they bad. So let's take a look at the list. I've kept this only to shows that I've personally seen, or most of the way seen. There's probably a whole bunch of other shows out there that are degenerate, but some of these are kind of iconic in their just flaccidness and being able to watch. But we're going to go on and talk about each one of them real briefly, and some of them I really hate, and others I'm like, yeah, I'd go back and watch it, or you could force me to watch it, and it wouldn't be complete torture. So let's start with the first one over here. We got Handshakers. So Handshakers. What to say about Handshakers? It's... No. I was trying to think of something good to say about it, but no. If I remember correctly, my eyeballs bled during this show. The animation techniques they use, like the CGI and stuff, it's bad. Plus, the plot, the characters, they're just all pretty shitty. Even for bad shows, quote-unquote, it was bad, especially for how it was hyped up, so I'm going to throw that in D tier. Next, we got Bikini Warriors. So, I actually like Bikini Warriors. It was one of my first forays in degeneracy. But there's truth in advertising in this show. When you see the title Bikini Warriors and you look at the opening thing with all the girls and how they're dressed, you get what you ask for, really. You get exactly what you get out of a show that calls itself Bikini Warriors. And it delivers for the most part. The only thing that really holds it back is the 4-minute episodes. There is no character growth or any progression like that. There's no central plot or anything. It's just mishaps and hijinks, and if you accept it for what it is, it's dare I say it, watchable. But other than that, it's not good. We know that, but being watchable, it means A tier. So next, Boku no Pico. Saying this show's name is like saying,
alright, Voldemort.
Yeah, in the anime community. So D tier, avoid at all costs. Please just no. Not even worth the meme. Don't even fucking try it. Darling in the Franxx. So you may have seen Darling in the Franxx when it was put on like Crunchyroll and Funimation and stuff like that. And maybe a bit harsh for putting it on this list, but I remember watching it and it was like pretty decent for like 12 episodes or so. And then it just takes a turn for the worse, and it turns utter shit, really. Like, I didn't comprehend what happened in the last like 5 episodes or like 8 episodes or something like that. It was weird. It just didn't make any sense. It's like the writers just gave up at that point. They're like, yeah, we made a show, we got people invested, just fuck off. Does get decent, but it's decently watchable for the most part. So you wouldn't just... There's a fine cutoff line. I'll put it in A tier. It's watchable. It has good waifus and stuff, so you'd be happy with that. Aramanga Sensei. How about no? How about no? I don't care if you're not blood related. It's... Yeah, no, done. Fate Lost Encore. Probably more watchable than most things on this list. Part of a very beloved franchise that actually does have good series. Mostly Fate Zero, I would say, is probably the best one. If you're a diehard fan of the Fate series, it's watchable. If not, it's complete chaff. It won't make sense. It's weird, and the characters are all new. It's just what they've done with the universe as a whole is just odd. I think it's a lot of marketing and stuff. So, yeah, I'll put it in S tier probably, just because if you like the Fate series, it's watchable and you'll probably enjoy it. But otherwise, no. It's a very situational S tier. It's probably not a strong S tier, so if we get somebody else in there, yeah, it'll be pushed back. Next one, Gurzey's Wing. Okay, so this show leaves you about as confused as the main character in the opening sequence. Weird superpower. He has, like, wings on his feet, and people are like, you're here to save us and stuff. So there's definitely a story to be told here, except you're joining in halfway through the story itself, and they just expect you to know, and they just keep going. They just like, yep, this, and this is happening, these are the people you're going to talk to, this is what you're going to do. And it is just a maelstrom of just cacophonous bullshit that happens throughout this plot. It's not as bad as people claim. People like to meme on this sometimes in some different forums and be like, "Oh, this is like the worst show." And I'm like, it's not the worst show. It's oddly entertaining, but it makes no goddamn sense. So B tier. Ghost Stories. Okay, so I recently watched Ghost Stories, and this is, ironically, I guess, one of my most recent favorite shows, just because the English dub is really fun to listen to. I haven't listened to the original, but I've listened to the dub, and it's a masterwork. It sounds like an abridged series. It's freaking hilarious. The voice actors basically got to do whatever they wanted, so you go to S tier. Yeah, right in front of Fate Zero. Not Fate Zero. Fate Lost Encore. Should have been the last one. Ice. So, good luck trying to find footage of this show. I've watched very little just because it's hard to get a hold on. And for good reason. It sucks. I can't really give it a much more fair grade than that, unfortunately, because I haven't seen too much of it. So I'll put it in C tier. I feel like that's good enough. Alright, Ninja Slayer. Ninja Slayer. This show just gives me PTSD, so I'm pretty biased when it comes to Ninja Slayer. I feel like it was made intentionally to be bad, but it was just, they committed too far, and has way too many episodes than to warrant it for anything else, and it's just dumb, and I hate it. So, D tier. Next is Please Teacher. Please Teacher it's a show. It's about as bland tapioca pudding type of show taste in your mouth that you can get from a student on teacher, minus all the hentai and porn. It's not as bad as, like, I'd say a lot of the stuff in D tier, but it's definitely not enough to go higher, so I say it goes in C tier. Poopa. 2 words, cannibal hentai. No thanks. What is that next show? It looks like Cosplayers. Cosplayers is Sailor Moon if it didn't have a budget and was also bad. So, C tier for that. Next is, it looks like SAO. Okay. So here's the thing with SAO. For many, it's the original worst anime that people ever saw, and it's worst isekai anime for many people that ever saw, which I have an argument about worst isekai anime now, being recent, like mass-produced, like Witch has Taken the Throne, which we're going to talk about real quick. But comparatively, yeah, the writing's pretty stinky. Most of the characters are just bad, very surface level. The Abridged series is amazing, so you have to go watch that. So look it up, type in, it's SAO Abridged series, it's fantastic. Fixes the show. But just because how it's aged, and also kind of coming from my perspective, which is something that just watches all these terrible shows, it's definitely not the worst. It's very watchable. It's not good by any means. So I put it right next to, like, it's better than Gears Wing. But yeah, not by much, just because Gears Wing's only like 3 episodes long, and it's painful, but it's over. But SAO, it drags you through like 2 whole arcs, and it's just ugh. Okay, moving on. We got 7 Mortal Sins. This freaking show. I ended up liking this show a bit more than I should have, just because almost a cohesive plot. The characters were pretty bad, but the plot, there was a plotting point. So that was something to say, and it had just lots of boobs and fan service. So if you like that kind of stuff, if you want just something mindless to droll about, you know that's nobody's gonna give a shit about. 7 Mortal Sins. It's bad, but it's got fan service. That's accompanied with a little bit of a plot, so B tier. Next is Mars of Destruction. Mars of Destruction. So this show is probably infamous for people saying, "Oh, this is the worst show ever from anime." And other dumpster diving connoisseurs would probably say the same, like myself. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, you can't defend this show. It's pretty bad. But I wouldn't say it's the worst anime ever, like some lists out online might say. But rest assured, it's pretty stinky. It's D tier. Would I say it's worse than, like, Ninja Slayer or Eromanga Sensei? Yes, I would say it's worse than those. It's probably worse than Handshakers. Not as worse as Pupa, though. Pupa is poo-poo. That show sucks hard. Yeah. So here's the other show when I was mentioning SAO. So Master of Ragnarok. Master of Ragnarok I recently watched, and remember seeing it on Crunchyroll, and it had a bunch of advertisements for it when it came out and stuff, and people were pumping this shit hard. And some of the bigger YouTubers have reviewed this show and slaughtered it for what it deserves, honestly. It takes anything dramatic happening in the show and just sucks it away with its plot. Because it's either cheating, or he's got a cell phone to talk to his real-life girlfriend, or whatever, and things just always work out, and it's just... There's no tension throughout the show. That's the problem, is it's just a lazy isekai cash cow that you can plant yourself on Mr. Yuto's face and just imagine being in that world with lots of girls from different clans and stuff, and just introducing technology that should never be introduced into that world and disrupting the natural balance. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's that. But the visuals aren't too bad. The voice acting's pretty alright. Like, it's average. For these kind of shows to get, they could like feel like they're churned out every quarter. So I'd put it probably in B tier, just because I managed to watch it. I wasn't like cringing the entire time, but most of the time it was just like I was shaking my head. I was not having it. All right, Vampire Homes. Okay, this show, if you want to watch it for the memes and the absurdity, go for it. It's a super short show. Your pain will be very brief. It's super bad, but it's kind of memey and funny, so I'd put it in C tier. And then we have Masters of Martial Arts, I believe. Yeah, Masters of Martial Arts. It's hard to tell the title of that one, but that show, I'm watching it currently. It's really hard to get a grip on this show, just because, one, it's definitely got fan service. Two, it's got some likable characters. Like, they got some moments. Like, it's not completely flat. It can be kind of funny. Other parts, though, it makes no goddamn sense. This show is just a train wreck in terms of plot development. The characters kind of help it hold together, and like they kind of look unique from like some of the things. Like the first fight you'll see is like this Shinto shrine maiden fighting like literally an airline stewardess, and it's just like I sure, why not? And then words come out of their mouth, and you convulse because, god damn. That's just a recurring theme. Is the writing's just terrible. But I will reserve right for this because it just looks interesting until I finish it. I'll put it in A tier, just because I'd rather watch it than a lot of other shows on this list. So yeah, going back through S tier, Ghost Stories, it is the best worst show I'd say you could probably watch. Mainly, you'd have to thank the voice actors for that. It's really enjoyable for that, and being a horror show, the jump scares, like, the horror is just non-existent. It's just kind of laughable, really. So I'd watch it. You're not going to be scared. You'll get a few chuckles. Moving down, Kings of A tier, Bikini Warriors. I'd totally watch Bikini Warriors again. I'd make a drinking game out of it. It's probably the best way to do it. So that'd say is your top of A tier. Going into B tier is where we start to get your traditional, these are bad shows and you probably shouldn't watch them. Ironically, both isekais are here with Master of Ragnarok and SAO. Probably the best show to watch out of these would probably be either SAO or Seven Mortal Sins, depending on what you're looking for. C tier. C tier is where we get some real... This is where it's really just... No, you're kind of like... You're starting to really shake your head and question your life decisions at this point. If you're going to watch a show out of here, watch Vampire Homes. I can't really recommend any of the others because there's just much longer or that much of an unknown. At least Vampire Homes, you'll get some memes out of it. And then D tier. The Kings of Shitty Anime. So, probably the most watchable in here, which, it's like throwing a dart at a freaking rhinoceros. Which one gets your taco floppy is which we're deciding. Best show out of here to probably watch? Probably Handshakers. I don't like saying that, but Handshakers is probably your best. Followed by Eromanga Sensei. And then, yeah, Eromanga Sensei is in front of Handshakers. Or behind Handshakers. Then probably Mars of Destruction. The Ninja Slayer, Boku no Pico Pupa. That's probably how I'd list it. Yeah, it should be there. Then you can go to the front to see. So that's how I'd probably organize it. This is my unofficial official list of shitty anime. Depending on where things come out, or if people want to add on to this or have more things, or as I progress, if probably like every 10 or so more shows I go through, I'd probably add on to this. I didn't add on an F tier just because I felt 5 categories was good enough to put it in like a 20% for each kind of thing. So yeah, tell me what you think. If you have any other shows that you believe should be on this list that I need to go watch immediately, if there's something missing, or if you don't agree with me, you can always just plop down in the comments and be like, hey, you need to go watch this horrible show more, because I disagree with you, I think it's worse, or I think it's better. So, take it as you will, write what you want. Thank you for watching, and please avoid all these shows at all costs. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.